Hello. Have you noticed how you have always tried to think your way to everything you desire? Think your way through life? Even my journey to self-discovery, to wholeness, I've noticed how I've tried to make sense of it all. I've tried to think my way there. But we're shooting ourselves in the foot as we do that, because each time we engage the human mind in an attempt to understand something that's way beyond the mind, we are keeping ourselves in duality. The moment we activate the human mind, we aren't in unity. I know that the trip to unity, the journey to unity, can be instant. It doesn't need to be a journey. It's about a decision and coming into presence. But then questions come up to me like, oh, how do I attract this into my life? And I realize in that moment that I have that thought that I am back in the human mind and I'm looking through the lens of polarity and lack. And that's why I cannot see in that moment what I desire. And we're told through this journey of awakening to the self, to truth, to wholeness, that it's a journey of love. So we go out into the world intending to be loving. And because we've got that intention, we're in the human mind. And we're still trying to get there through our limited capacity of the human mind. Now, the human mind is the mind of the physical. It's the mind of separation. However, as we come into unity, as we live through presence and the open heart, our mind becomes transformed and guided by the heart. And instead of being in the frequency of form and of physicality and mentality, human consciousness, it shifts into the consciousness of those higher frequencies of our universal self. So, the mind in itself isn't to blame. It's the mind, I believe, is a reflector. Like the mind reflects our state of being. It only has access to information or wisdom from the level of our own state of being. But by looking at the thoughts that arise in the mind, we're able to determine whether we're in unity and wholeness or whether we're in the human aspect of the mind and in separation and duality. And, this morning I had this realization that whenever I try to think myself to love, I'm holding myself in duality because it's coming from I need to get there, not that I am there. So it's about letting go of the mind altogether and making that very first point of call our heart and coming into presence and wholeness. And from that place of presence and wholeness, we get to visit our world in a whole different way, because our perspective from that frequency allows us to see all things in abundance and in wholeness and in joy and in love, instead of from the lower frequencies of the human mind. Now, it was brought to my attention that most action comes from the human mind. And I tend to agree with that. But action actually springs from our state of being. So, yes, most action we witness or have taken up to this moment may be as a result of our human consciousness and from the consciousness of humanity as a whole, because we tend to have lived from that belief system. But as we shift into wholeness, into presence, and we're living from an open heart, then our actions are guided from a whole different state of being. So I'm not saying that action shouldn't be taken, because action is fun, but action is secondary to our state of being. So to take action from inspired mind, from the state of being of presence, is going to be a different action probably, and much more fruitful, because action taken from that aligned state of being, from divine wisdom and guidance, is going to be on point and magnetic, and it's only going to produce positive results, and it can be instant. And that, it really excites me, because as I stay more and more in this place of presence, I get to witness and enjoy not only these frequencies and the very tangible feeling that accompanies this state of being, and the knowingness, without thought, the knowingness, the absolute knowingness of what is available and what is right here. And I know that as I'm inspired into action, it's going to be joyous at every step. So I've moved out of trying to make sense of everything through the human mind and letting everything be okay, and moving into presence and allowing the knowing that accompanies that state of being to be my guidance. The human mind only knows what it knows. It's very limited according to its frequency. The divine mind is infinite wisdom. So I know where I am playing and where I choose to continue to play. And I allow any feeling or thought that comes up, that arises from anything other than this state of being, to be okay, to see it, acknowledge it, and not react to it, so that I can maintain this state of presence. And as I receive these signals, the discomfort or the attention of something missing or an uncomfortable situation, to be a signal that I've actually departed from presence, and to bring myself back into the alignment with my whole self, with my non-physical self, my universal self. And, I wish this for everybody who is ready for this journey, because it is so absolutely delicious. So, let go of needing to analyze and to make sense of everything that's going on in the outside world, and come back into presence and experience for yourself the joy and the spaciousness of this state, and receive your guidance from that point, And then any action you take, be assured that it will be fruitful and will deliver whatever it is that is in your highest interest. So take action for sure, but come into alignment with your wholeness before you do so. Because the frequency that your actions will carry, that will meet with whatever you wish to meet with, is going to be, so delicious that people will want to be part of it, that others will want what you have to offer. But this isn't something that can be faked. No words from the human mind can measure up to the energy of presence. And in presence, there's no lack. So you're not trying to get anything. You're there to love and to give and to share, to move into relationship with. Big hugs.